Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Today, na Thursday, number 9 day for this month of May 2024. My name na Capo Daniel, una own countryman, sense past king. Una welcome to another episode of our daily podcast, a program where they bring una the truth, it bring una meaningful information, fact-based analysis for help we as we work out for this journey to our freedom, to the independence of Ambazonia. Today, my fellow country people at home and abroad, I bring una liberation salute. We will decide for today's podcast for put out the entire conversation while getting with John Ba Okoro. This conversation will be take place after the Ambazonian People's Right Advocacy Platform will be declared cessation of hostility for embrace the non-violent approach to our right of self-determination as part of our push for a negotiated settlement for a war between La République du Cameroon and Ambazonia. So, what the way would the talk na say, John Ba Okoro, he don't play for a program, talk with me and he be the talk on for telephone, he record them, he don't play the part for a program for radio where they always make them every time. So I don't decide say I go play all the whole talk with me and he be talk. So that make all our people them for ground zero them be able to hear for themselves the full version without editing so that they go fit make up their mind on this topic. They go be empowered with knowledge. And I dey always tell our people them say na debate, sometimes na differences them they help the general public for be able for noting the way they know for know them if people the way they for up they disagree. So na big opportunity for na two for hear exactly the conversation they go up and una go feel way our mind and our thinking. Now who be capable for think properly. Now who they think properly and na for who they align the most with the public interest. So make una listen, una hear the talk with me and John Ba Okoro be talk from beginning to end. And when I remember say this talk will be the talk. Now just after we will be declared an end of hostility for the People's Right Advocative Platform for me will pick up na non-violent means for be able for push our independence. The program for the peace plan we would put them with the Ambazonian People's Right Advocacy Platform would put them. Now one way talk say now we will not get independence now so it better say me will instead than say me will wait till they lost the war as all the soldiers they die they need to be replaced. The best thing we would choose them and say it better me will take autonomy first. Me will take self-governance first. We inside that self-governance, it go show say Cameroon for their constitution. Now two people them there for this one country. And it go give we the right, we go rule ourselves, we control our own budget, we control our own police, our own fire brigade, and we'll get our own port. We'll also get our own international airport for Ambazonia. It get the program for our refugees them for come back home for under assisted return program for refugee them. For our soldier them, it get a reintegration program for them. Also for people for diaspora and want them for prison, where them go sign up to the peace plan, where it means that they don't choose the peace by peaceful means, the non-violent approach, and then recognize the principle them for one country, two people, they will be also released and given that amnesty for comeback as part of a negotiated settlement where it is for the peace plan. So we're gonna hear they talk the story and it will give them a perspective and it be this type of engagement and be very important for public awareness. So may God bless you now.
Okay. Let's see. I've seen a document circulating out there reportedly from you. I just shared it with you. I want you to look at it and something I'd like to verify. A document titled Cessation of Hostilities by the Ambazonian People's Advocacy Platform.
Document. Let me see the one that you have seen.
Okay, this one is from you.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to be sure that it's from you in the document.
The date for the first statement have a date, carries a date.
The first statement carries a date.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I just wanted to cross-check that it was from you.
Yes, it's from me. I had sent you earlier an invitation for a Zoom meeting that we had received, and we had secured an invitation to make a presentation in the United Nations. I'd send you an invitation about that. So we had two of our partners that we wanted them to attend the meeting so that they can meet everybody and we can explain to them our proposition so that people can have a chance to hear from us directly, have chance to critique and amend or even present us alternative that may be best, so that when we do that presentation, it should be the best case that we can put for our people, because it's a very unique opportunity. The Secretary General of the United Nations have commissioned a survey on the special status for a panel of over 30 countries in the United Nations to see if that have adequately resolved the issue that our people can enjoy their human rights as declared in the Human Rights Declaration. So we have secured an opportunity to address it. It is very critical that we have a proper presentation there and everybody can have a chance. That's why I send that invitation to you so that people can say it. And one of the reasons we have succeeded to have that opportunity is because we have taken that posture of de-escalation. And these are some of the reasons that we have to take. We take this decision for cessation of hostility to be able to guarantee, to give us that peace, because the partners who are helping us there, they have said that they are credentialed from the United Nations, and it is not really possible for us to have a voice at that level when we are in hostility with the member state. Cameroon will object, and they'll even use that opportunity to pressurize the British government who have shown interest in what we are doing, to say that you people are now supporting a separatist group which is in hostility with Cameroon. So it is the primary objective of this move is to secure that voice within the United Nations panel that we have been invited to, and to be able to...
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
The question I want to ask you is, do you really take time sometimes to, study, how the international system functions before you make some of this kind of declarations? Because I guess if you take time sometimes to understand how the international system functions, you will not make this kind of declarations. When the United States or the UN Security Council sits to talk about the situation in Gaza and talk about Hamas, what is Hamas? Do you know what Hamas is?
Yes.
Yeah. What is Hamas?
Hamas is a terrorist group now in Palestine.
You said yourself, Hamas is a terrorist group. But you see, they are able to sit down and open negotiations and talk to Hamas that is attacking a member country, and that has actually been christened a terrorist group. Are we a terrorist group?
We have groups that have.
No. Answer me. Are we a terrorist group?
Our movement is legitimate, just like the Palestinian group are not. The Palestinian group is not Hamas. You have to distinguish.
No, excuse me. They are not talking there to Palestinian group. They are talking to Hamas. Right now, they are talking to Hamas. And you have said here, and we are all agreed, Hamas is a terrorist group. It's Ambazonia and starting Cameroonians. Have we been declared a terrorist group?
We have not been declared a terrorist group by the United Nations, but a United Nations member state. A United Nations member state.
If you agree with me that we are not a terrorist group, because we are not, we have never been and we will never be, then how comes you say they are saying they cannot talk to us when we are attacking a member state? Capo, in your mind, who attacked who? Did we attack La Republic du Cameroon, or we are defending ourselves? Do you know the difference between self-defense and aggression?
You have to understand the difference between what you are asking me. There is a difference
what is the difference between what I am asking you? I have asked you
Let me explain to you now. There is a difference between you cannot compare apples and pears. You cannot compare us and Hamas. Hamas is a
No, leave Hamas out now. Wait, let's get to Hamas.
Yes.
The question I'm asking you here now is, between us and La Republic du Cameroon, who attacked who? Who started brutality against who? Are we defending ourselves, or we are the aggressors?
When you are in a war,
aggression and self-defense.
We are acting in self-defense. When you are in a war, you are in a state of hostility.
Okay,
Cameroon,
so
listen, you have asked a question. Let me answer you now.
I want us to go step by step.
Yeah, let me answer. So
right?
let me answer now. Let's go step by step. Let me answer you.
I want a yes or no. You agree that we're acting in self-defense, right?
Of course, I have to explain to you the yes or no. You can't just ask me yes or no like we are in.
No, I know. No, when you say yes, you can go ahead and explain. When you say no, you can go ahead and explain. So are we acting in self-defense?
Yes, we are acting in self-defense.
Okay,
Cameroon, when there is a war, there is aggression and violence on both sides. Cameroon is a member state of the United Nations. For the past 8 years, we have made petition upon petition. None of our petition has made it into the United Nations. The only reason we have had the opportunity to secure an invitation to the United Nations is because we have demonstrated that we are not in hostility. We don't want to be in hostility with a member state of the United Nations. Whether Cameroon attack us or not, once there is a war going on, aggression goes on, the international community is interested in how to alleviate the humanitarian crisis in a just and sustainable manner. So it is upon us to try to. I don't want to take a lot of your time.
I don't want to take a lot of your time, bro. No, listen, I don't want to take a lot of your time. I just wanted to make this clarification to you. You see that right from this point, you are going to need to talk about all of this concept. Don't even grab what you are talking about. When you look at this communique that I brought to you, to ask you to confirm whether you are the one that wrote it. When you talk of cessation of hostilities, we declare hostilities against the Republic of Cameroon.
To stop hostility does not mean that you must be the one that started it. John Okoro, you are better than that. To say that you are stopping hostility does not mean that you are the one who started it. You are equating two things that are not equatable.
I'm not just talking from the blues. I think what you need to do, you need to settle down, give yourself an opportunity to be properly educated before you go dabbling into things that are to kill the life of people.
You are the one who has not even grasped the concept. You have to know that just because you did not start a war does not mean that you are not in hostility. When you are in hostility and the war is not going on your favor, you must sit down and think whether the method you are using will produce a result that you want. The Hamas people, for the past years, the Palestinian people have not been able to have their independence despite the support for the Palestinian rights to a state, simply because the Hamas group has been committing terrorism. There is no way the world will recognize independence of Palestine with Hamas performing terrorism. It is not possible. Even Yasser Arafat himself has gone against Hamas to even work with the Israelite government to be able to stop the attack of terrorism over the Palestinian cause. So you cannot be comparing Hamas, a group, with us, Ambazonian, as a people, and then you're talking about people grasping concept. What type of concept are you talking about, John Okoro? We should have to put our people suffering first. For 8 years, we have been fighting to look for recognition. We don't have that recognition. For 8 years, we have been struggling to talk to nation state. Nobody have been able to even receive us. Simply because of our hostile stand, the intensity of the war does not make a dent in Cameroon. There is no way we can even go back to the peak of our struggle. So we cannot keep on doing the same thing and expecting a different result or a different miracle. If the countries in the United Nations have made it clear to us that there will be no recognition of Ambazonia, then for us continue to fighting blindly that we only want recognition and independence, that will be foolishness. That will be destroying our own people. We must sit and take stock and say, okay, yes, the United Nations states have told us directly that there will be no recognition for Ambazonia. What is the way now to move forward? Insisting that you want only independence right now is playing into Cameroon's hands. The only person who benefits now for this war is Cameroon. We must listen to our refugees. They want to go back home. Our people are tired. The intensity of the war have subsided. Our people are now returning back home already. So what are you talking about? We have to be serious, John Okoro. This is not a game. We have to be able to release our political prisoners. We have a unique opportunity. We must take that opportunity. We know that the fighting on ground zero have already evolved. It has already evolved. So we must take the opportunity to fight for the right of our people and stop talking to ourselves. Nobody will talk to us if we continue acting like this. And you should know better. And so John Okoro dropped the phone call, and that was a full conversation I have with him. He played just some part of it, and I think that it is our people deserve to hear the entire conversation. So, fellow Ambazonian, just for round up, John Okoro, he called, he main 2 points the way make an asweti. One, he say, Capo Daniel, you need for take time for study how the international community function. That means say, he claim say, I never take time for study the international system, how it function. Make Ambazonia know say, I be na the highest person where it can be prepared for represent our country. I can be trained by, I can meet up Chinese mediators for train for capacity building, introduced by Israelis connection to have this capacity building. I've traveled to Cambodia, I've traveled to Spain, I've made international partners, I've spoken to Congress people, I've spoken to former head of state, I've engaged in the highest level to represent our struggle. I am the most learned person as far as our struggle is concerned. I've built the biggest network in ground zero. I am the only official in Ambazonia who have recruited, trained, deployed forces, carry out operation all from the diaspora. So there is nobody who is more connected to our struggle, our people, our soldiers, as me or the international community as myself. In terms of pushing our narrative, I have done 80% of our international engagement in terms of public space to engage with journalists. I have initiated, I think, majority of our writing to appeal to the international community since Seseko Ayoktabi was arrested by Nigeria and handed to Cameroon. So who is more prepared, who have studied how the international community works? Maka take John back Okoro for his own word. Because I not get my other devices, the one I use them for record my podcast, I will still bring the evidence in tomorrow. If you listen for this podcast today, you go for the 8 minute, 10 seconds. John Okoro, this is the statement he made. He said that when the United Nations Security Council sit to talk about the situation in Gaza with Hamas, is Hamas not in hostility with Israel, who is a member state of the United Nations? So John Okoro, it claims say I need for study very well. But when I hear what he talk say United Nations Security Council they talk with Hamas, even though Hamas be in hostility with a member state. It means say na he never study, because no member for the United Nations Security Council no fit ever talk with Hamas, because Hamas na a registered, na a recognized terrorist organization. So there is no country where they engage with Hamas. The only country where it don't host Hamas, now you get na Qatar, where their office there for them, because the American government then talk say they need to get away with they fit engage with Hamas indirectly. There is no country which have direct relationship with Hamas. Even the only country where it sponsor Hamas, na Iran, they do them so they know if you do them so openly. And they do them with a lot of consequences, then be considered as an access of evil. So Jomba Okoro need for actually learn, for know the truth and know how the international community they work before it claim say some people they need for learn. I think say it suffer from what they call them say big manism. That era where they defeat say because you owe, you know something better. For this new era, for the 21st century, picking them, they teach old people them which way it happen because them be more in tune with technology and global affairs more than the old people them. If you go back, you listen for number 8 minute, 36 second, John Okoro is still repeat them. Say the United Nations, they talk with Hamas. No man they talk with Hamas. Even when the Israel, they want to negotiate about what did happen for Gaza, they talk now through Egypt, where Egypt they use na corny way for talk with Hamas, not be official way. They use na corny way for talk for Hamas. So he never study very well which way he talk him. Then he talk also said, did we declare hostilities against Cameroon? This one it be irrelevant. Whether na who declare war, whether na who start war, when a war it go on. The most important thing when a war they go on, now each party their ability for win the war. When you fight war, plenty reason then they will you start. Some person they start war because them provoke, someone they start war because he be gay agenda for war. Nevertheless, now when the war they go on, you will if you say you go win the war, you need one for stop. You will if you say you lost the war or you feel lose the war, you try for talk. So they call and say ripening of the conflict. When one side it don't almost win, the other one it takes step them for make sure say me then get a proper bargain before the war it won't finish. So John Okoro lack understanding on how the international community dey work and wetin dey operate for ground zero. For compare Hamas and Ambazonian struggle na an insult even for Hamas wey na a terrorist organization. Una don ever hear say Hamas dey go attack Palestinian dem, they burn Palestinian village, they publicly execute innocent Palestinian the way they never do anything? No. On the contrary, Hamas, it defeat Palestinian them. It take money for international community. It can gam for Palestinian them. But that one no be so a way for our own liberation struggle. Our own liberation struggle, instead, now our own politician, the way they're supposed to represent, they take money, they chop them. They bring scandal upon scandal. They declare civil war, nobody even get a country. They attack our own village. When I look way to way Ayabacho they do one for ground zero. The worker fight not only against Batibo, declare say he go wipe out the village of EY, call chief them, say me them call chief their head them. When they see the same thing when Hamas they do them, not only for Ambazonia, for the whole war, who would behave this type of way. So Jomba Okoro, he be out of touch with reality. He no understand how the international community they work. If he be understand, he would know say when Hamas as a terrorist organization then carry out terrorism, even the Arab country they be against them because they know say that they spoil Palestinian their struggle. America way be the deny say they no go fit allow Israel meet them stay for some land way international law consider them as Palestinian law. They instead support now Israel. Why? Because Hamas they carry out terrorism. Terrorism now a backfire. When you start carrying out terrorism, you isolate all international support. Palestinians they never ever get their independence till today. Why? Because they will go attack people them for inside Olympic game. They carry out terrorism them. Now the only reason that we Palestinians they never get the international support for being recognized by the United Nations. Apart from that, they for them be recognized ever since. So the biggest obstacle for Palestinian their freedom na Hamas because na a terrorist group. Even Yasser Arafat he don't condemn Hamas. Even Yasser Arafat he don't even try to join with Israel for fight Hamas. Jordan they no want Hamas. Egypt they don't block their border. They no want Hamas. No man no want Hamas. Even people where they protest for Palestinian right, they shame they no go want associate themselves with Hamas because they go arrest them. So Hamas na bad thing. Any extremism for our struggle, now it will give the same type of effect with Hamas in the game for Palestinian them. So Jomba Okoro, you know if you compare tomatoes and pepper. Now two different things them. Even though they the one look like say they look the same, but pepper is the hot, tomato is the sweet. You know if you compare Hamas with Ambazonian struggle. So Jomba Okoro, it be wrong, be in touch, and at the same type of thing where some people they compare our freedom fighter them way La Republique or the war they call them say terrorists, or some people they call them say terrorists with Nelson Mandela. Say it no matter if they even call you say terrorists, you cannot compare Nelson Mandela with our own cases because Nelson Mandela never fought against his own people. Nelson Mandela was an example of a true leader who sacrificed himself for his people. But instead, our own people them they the one call them say the one the way they know we in a hardliners them they the one call them say extremists. Now because they actually carry out war crimes. Look somebody like Ayabacho, you get internationally recognized body them like Human Rights Watch. They don't come out with investigation where it shows say he don't carry out war crime in the name of Ambazonia, killing innocent people them for ground zero. No be one case, no be two case, no be three case. This year alone, Ayabacho don't kill 32 innocent people where they don't get nothing to do with the fighting. So if someone they call it say terrorist or extremism, the person go be right because it be defined by which way he do am. Nelson Mandela, they be accused for things the way he need to do them. But for our own, they accuse some leader then for things the way they do them. Look at Sako, the embezzlement where he don't cause them. Only his own organization that indicted for embezzle over 2 million, living extravagant life, somebody who was jobless before. Look at Chris Ano, a church rat in front of our eye, somebody who was useless even by the standard of America. He still come back for can take chop for Ambazonian chop the chop. And so this struggle for person like Chris Ano and Sako, it help for sustain their lifestyle. They will never give up this struggle because it helps them. And I will beg pardon for even at Mark Barata for this list, even though I respect him past the other one because I don't work with him personally for self-defense. Look, Mark Barata, for he talk with me, he don't acknowledge them for public. Say Ambazonia will not win independence now at the short immediate period. Then imagine say person where he know say we no fit win independence, why you go dey insist say make we dey fight on the basis for thing where you know say we no fit win am, even when doing so is counterproductive to our struggle? But if you go out and say one go raise fund for Ghana for who soldier, for either take which measure them for make sure say the hostility where it go come, it will actually be in the benefit of Ambazonia. Is he just after the money or what? Somebody might even ask. Because what purpose will he? Our forces in Ground Zero have been running without fund from the diaspora for a long time because leaders have misused them and misled them to be collecting money by force, which runs contrary to their own stance. So, but what will you think? People who have supported kidnapping for ransom, what would you think? So no matter which side we stand, no matter what differences we have, sometimes people are wrong, but they must be humble to accept that people who are always right or who have been right for the majority of the time are more prone to make the right decision on behalf of our public. That is why we have the majority of our people stand with us. The only people that are against us are people who are benefiting from this struggle in one way or the other and want this struggle to continue. Everybody who is reasonable, who is rational, will come to the same conclusion based on the information that are available to the general public about the decision of the People's Right Advocacy platform. The people's voice is our voice, and we have made the people to speak through us, and they will continue to do so. You have heard our officials in Ground Zero. You have seen them in the refugee camps giving the voices of the refugees to speak out. That is how it is supposed to be done. We are doing the right thing. Our people should rally behind us for a final diplomatic push for us to have what we can get and secure it and secure a pathway to our independence rather than risking it with people who are not responsible and get into a total loss scenario. We must rescue our liberation and our chances for independence. The right way to fight for independence is to have this first step and make tangible progress towards that direction for the betterment and public interest of Ambazonia. Capo Daniel signing off. See you. Bye-bye.